In this session, we'd like to look at the Airflo 12 compressor. This is the compressor, and this product is used to power every pneumatic Manga product with the exception of the elk and camel lifting cushions. First thing to point out about the Airflo 12 is that this is a battery unit. With it being a battery unit, we obviously will need recharging. Bearing that in mind, we'll talk through the features of the compressor. First thing to point out, the weight of the compressor. This is approximately 4.5 kilos, so it's quite easy to move around from room to room, especially when we're talking about the Manga bathing products. The Manga bathing products obviously don't want a mains compressor, so the battery helps as far as safety is concerned. On the top of the compressor, the first thing we're going to see is a battery indicator light. If I push the light, you'll see at the moment all 4 lights come on. That tells me that the unit is fully charged. But what do we do when we first receive the unit from the supplier? First thing we need to do is to put the compressor onto charge. And let me show you how we do that. When you receive your compressor, you will also receive a charger. The charger will connect to the compressor with this simple plug. This fits at the back of the battery light indicator button. I can then plug the charger into the mains and we're ready to charge. Once the charger is connected to the mains, the battery light indicator on the Airflo will start to give us information as to how far the charging process has been completed. For the first 2 hours, we're only going to see the red light and 1 flashing light above it. After that 2-hour period, the charge continues to build until after a full 16 hours, the compressor will be fully charged and all 4 lights will be showing green. Please always remember, disconnect the charger before you use the compressor. And a second point is always disconnect the charger before we test how much charge is in the battery. Please note that if you interrupt or recharge the charging cycle, the whole process will start again. That means that when I replug this in, it will tell me the red light and 1 green light and the start of a 16-hour charge. That will give the impression that the compressor needs completely recharging. That is not the case if it has had the full 16-hour charge previously. Please also note that if you interrupt or restart the charging cycle, the indicator light will show you that it's starting to charge again. This isn't necessarily the case. Don't worry about the battery being flat if it's had a full charge. Just to give you an idea of how the light sequence works, if the compressor shows 4 lights, it's fine to use. That's also the same when we have 3 green lights showing. When we get down to 2 green lights showing, it's ready to be charged. 1 green light will mean charge before your next use, and when the red light appears, it needs an immediate charge. So once you've got used to that, it's quite a simple process to follow. Once we are happy that our battery is completely charged, it's ready to connect the compressor to our Manga product. As I said at the start of this piece, this Airflo 12 compressor is used for all our pneumatic products with the exception of the elk and the camel lifting cushion. To connect the cushion to the compressor, you will see on the side of the compressor a port which is coloured white. Every Manga product will also have a hose with a white connector. So all we need to do is to match white to white. That simply pushes in and clicks into place. At the end of use, it's quite simple. I touch the paddle and the hose is released. The next thing we need to connect to the Airflo is the up and down control. This has a jack plug which goes below the hose and pushes securely home. To operate the up and down control, it's a simple matter of up and down. If we find ourselves in a situation where the up and down button on the remote control is of no use to us, we can use the up and down buttons as shown on the top of the compressor. Quite simply, up and down as required. At this stage, it's worth pointing out that you cannot, and I repeat, cannot overcharge the battery. Don't worry about putting too much charge in there. You can leave the compressor on charge as long as you like. Secondly, we do have a safety feature built into the compressor that it will not work if there is not sufficient charge within the battery to actually complete the action we require. So you cannot overcharge and it will not leave you stuck in any position. For instance, if we're using the Airflo 12 with our bathing cushion, the compressor will not let the cushion deflate and take you down to the bottom of the bath unless there is enough charge in the compressor to bring you back to the top of the bath again. So don't ever worry about being stuck in the bath.